Let's talk a little APTA. So a few weeks ago, I got a message. Got a message from my man Dylan here. Take a look at that. It's a little long, but here are some highlights. And Dylan was a bit fired up, which got me fired up because we started talking about the APTA. And his message was, and his question was, what is going on? Because he was in a Facebook message group, the DPT student group, and there was apparently a discussion going on. He asked me if I saw it, which I didn't, so then I took a look, and it was a discussion on value. What is the value of being an APTA member? Which apparently is a huge issue because right now we're at 30% membership rate for the APTA, unless numbers have changed since this is recorded, which I hope the case happens to be. So Dylan asked, what is going on with APTA and why are they not more present in this group? Because when you have a value problem, a lot of times it's the perception of value. And when you have a perception of value issue, that is a big problem because we will rely on cost. If you don't have a value for someone, they will look at reasons not to buy it. And that usually comes down to price. But is it really just price? We were really curious, we as in Ben Fung and I. We wanted to know, is it the price that is the real issue? Because if it's just a matter of simple pricing, that can be fixed. If it's a value problem, pricing is an excuse. So we wanted to find out, and we went after the people that will know best, the people on Facebook, because that is such a huge community, especially the DPT student group, because that is the future. That is the up-and-coming group of leaders in the physical therapy field. If they don't see the value of being an APTA member before they're even a physical therapist, before they're even in the profession, we are in serious trouble. The APTA is in serious trouble. There is a huge bridge. There is a disconnect that we need to figure out how to narrow, how to bring it together, and how to build this value road on that bridge. So we wanted to find out. So we asked, right? Simple enough. If you want to know an answer to a question, you asked. The question was, why are you not an APTA member? And this was to the students. This was to the professionals already, because there's plenty of PTs that are in that group as well. And let's find out what we got. Ben?
All right, guys, so this is how the numbers broke down. We had this conversation start on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and we gave it about an 8 to 10 hour bracket before we started gathering all the data, because that's where most of the liveliest discussions were occurring. And we separated them out. There was about 500 of them, to positive and negative comments overall, to the two general threads of discussion, which was how the APTA advocates for us, and then the cost benefits of the financial aspect of, hey, can I afford a membership? And then we spun those two areas down to positive and negative comments, and this is the breakdown. 30% of all the comments were positive about the APTA membership itself, and that shouldn't be of any surprise, right? Because that's basically the ratio we have right now that the APTA has of total membership across the entire profession, 30%. But then we had that spin down of, well, how many of the conversations were about the cost and how many were about the APTA and what they do for us on a legislative and professional advocacy level. And that discussion was about 50% down the line. I think it was 52 about the cost, 48 about what the APTA does for our profession at large. Now that is interesting because then we spin it down to the positive and negative cost discussions, and this was one-way swinging. A whopping 14% of comments on cost were positive, which is daunting because you would kind of figure if things were split down the middle in terms of the discussion, you would get 30% and 70%, but no, it was actually basically half. Half of the people that are advocates for membership don't seem to have a concrete way of communicating the financial benefit itself of why members should be members. But if you look at the narrative dialogue, there was not one comment, not a single comment on a member saying, I'm a member because I get X amount of dollars back. There is basically no financial reason that people buy in. People buy into membership because it is the right thing to do. It is the only advocating body that we have is professional insurance. It is a duty and a calling, and it's a way for me to get plugged in and a way for me to fight for our profession at a deeper level. No financial considerations. But on the other hand, the 86% of the people that had negative comments on the cost of membership basically looped around that. And I can't physically, realistically afford membership for all sorts of life reasons, whether it's new grad or there's a bunch of kids now that are going to college, all those things looped up. There's also a whole nother thread of both members and non-members saying, hey, I would support the APTA so much more if they had all these available membership benefits. And then what would happen was active members would say, hey, look, the APTA does have these benefits, but you have to find them in this dark corner of the APTA website. So there's definitely an opportunity there. That's it from the numbers and the analysis. Gene, back to you.
Thanks, Ben. So 30% positivity. That is a ton of negativity about the APTA. So we looked at these 500 responses, and Ben and I, the question was, what can the APTA and what can the PTs, what can the physical therapy community do to come together? Because this has to be mutual. And we looked at various possibilities, and we came down to 4 possible options to help bridge this gap. First one, marketing. The APTA needs to do a better job marketing itself than what it's doing. Right now, it is an organization. It's a corporation. It is faceless and it's soulless. There's no emotion to the APTA. You need to be more than just a corporation behind physical therapy. There needs to be allegiance. There needs to be an emotional pull to want to support the APTA because you need to be more than just a company. That doesn't exist yet. And to do that, you need to start marketing yourself to audiences. Be where your audience is. You're not there now. You're not in the social media student communities. You need to be there. There's this entire outreach. There's this huge need with upcoming students to be more than just a membership, to be more than just a due. Be more than just money. 2, transparency. This has always been coming up, and this will always come up to some extent. We get that. But right now, you need to open up the books, you need to open up your plans, and you need to bring people in to involve the community a lot more than now. Yes, we understand your business, and we don't expect to see everything, but be a lot more inclusive, especially the upcoming millennial generation. They want transparency. They want to feel like they're part of helping you grow. This is where the connection needs to happen more than anything else. We, the community, the physical therapy community, and the upcoming students that will be the new professionals need to feel like they are part of something. That's not happening yet. So open up your plans. Bring more surveys in. Bring people in to try to build some of the future initiatives. Let them be part of this a lot more than it's been so far. 3, connection. There needs to be a better connection. Yes, it'll start with marketing, but it needs to continue. You need to provide so many more resources than you've provided so far, and relevant ones, not just some continuing ed courses that are buried somewhere in the back end of the website. It needs to be a lot more relevant, needs to be a lot more media friendly, and there needs to be a lot more connection between PTs and PTAs. That doesn't exist right now either. The PTAs feel like they have absolutely no support from the APTA. That needs to change. This needs to be an entire community, all of us. 4, another big one, membership value. So this comes down to benefits. When people don't have enough justification for being a member, they will rely on cost. They will say this is too expensive because they have no value in it. If you understand your audience, you will understand what they need. By marketing, by going out there, by building a stronger connection, all the first 3 things we just talked about. Number 4 becomes crucial because you can deliver what your audience wants and needs. That might cost you a little bit more money up front now, but you have to come from behind at this point. You have to spend a little bit of money, and you have to provide things for the PT community. Bring those 70% back in, because not only will they want to support APTA, which everybody should do because it only supports our profession, but they will have value. They will have tangible things for them. And make it easily accessible. Right now, nobody knows where anything is. Most of the students, even the professionals that are APTA members, have no idea where half of the stuff is on your website. Or if you have anything available that they want, make it a lot more readily accessible. We are excited. We really want to bridge this gap because we know that the APTA is a necessity for the profession to grow and to be a successful, health-driven population, big picture motivator for the communities. We hope that we can help bridge this gap, and we hope that you utilize us, UpDoc Media, and everybody. Do not be closed off. Let's build a community.